Hi everyone, my lesson today is about kinetic and potential energy, and right now we're in Schoology. This is what my school uses for their students to house their information. So we're under Unit 5, and they would click the link Skate Park FET, and whenever they do that, it would pull this link up, and they would need to click here. Whenever they do that, they'd have to click Open when done, and it'll pull up this screen here. Whenever this screen is pulled up, they have completed the first step, and now we're going to go to the worksheet that they have to complete with this virtual lab. With this, they need to read the Prelab reading. So it says kinetic energy, energy of motion. Any object that is moving has kinetic energy. Potential energy is the energy an object has due to its position or condition. In this simulation, we will be focusing on a specific type of potential energy, gravitational potential energy. Mechanical energy is the total energy an object has, the sum of kinetic and potential. The law of conservation of energy states that energy cannot be created or destroyed, but can be transferred from one form to another. This means that if an object has a certain amount of energy, it will keep that energy unless it is transferred to another object. Now we're moving on to the procedures. So it says check grid and bar graph boxes in the top right corner. Keep them open at all times. So you'd go here, grid and bar graph, and you'd want this available to see on your screen. Then we'll go back. Explore the simulation. In the top left corner, you can try different tracks and see how the kinetic and potential energy moves. Write your observations here. So there's this track. We got the loop, and when I do that, I see that he has kinetic and potential energy and that these bars are moving back and forth as he's going through the track. When I click double well, I see that now there's thermal energy, and we talked about what that was. And I see whenever he's stuck, the thermal energy seems to be higher. And then this one is the friction parabola. So they're moving back and forth. And I notice that the total energy is not moving, but kinetic and potential is. So that would be one of my observations here. Once we're done with that, we're going to switch to the U track and then answer these questions. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to reset my settings. Yes. And I'm going to hit grid and bar graph again. And it wants me to see whenever he is at the top, how is potential energy. So when does the skater have the highest potential energy? And that's when he's at the top of the U. When does he have his lowest? Whenever he is at the bottom. So whenever you pause him here, you can see it's at the lowest. So you'd write the bottom of the U. When does the skater have the highest kinetic? Whenever he is at the bottom of the U. He has the lowest when he is at the top. So those would be your answers there. Right now, I want you to try number 4 and 5 on your own with a partner, and then the rest of them you'll do completely on your own. So right now, that's what I want you to do, and then when you're done, you can click the video and I'll explain 4 and 5, and then the rest will be on your own. Okay, so for 4, it asks what happens when you increase the mass. To increase the mass, you'd have to hit Edit Skater and scroll down, and then you can hit play and move it up. So whenever I increase the mass, I notice over here at my bar graph, the total energy goes up. And whenever I decrease it, the total energy goes down. So now I know with mass that can affect your total kinetic and potential energy. So whenever I look here, what happens when you increase the mass to kinetic energy? It would increase the total kinetic energy. Same with potential, and same with the total mechanical. Now, when I look at 5, we already know this answer. When the skater's at the top, he has low kinetic but high potential. When he's in the middle, he'd have medium of both. And at the bottom, he would have high kinetic and low potential. So if we look here, when he's up there, and his mass is normal, potential's high. And when he's here, kinetic's high. And when he's in the middle, both are fairly even. Now you need to complete 6 through 10 on your own.